All right, so we are going to look at one of our 7.1-7.2 homeworks. And it says you measure 50 textbooks weights and find the... Okay, so when I put all of that in there, my calculator, I got 1.77395. Now, I probably don't need many decimal places. Let me go back for a moment. Let's see. It says to give my answers to 2 decimal places. So what's wise here is just to go to 3 decimal places. And now I need to do 2 calculations, 78 minus 1.774 and 78 plus 1.774. So I'll do each of those in my calculator. So if I do 78, so if I do 78 minus 1.774, I get 76.226. And if I do 78 plus 1.774, I do 79.774. And then we want to round off to 2 decimal places, and typically we'll write these in an interval, so 76.23 and 79.77. And that's what I'm going to put into my open math. So let me go back, and we'll do 76, oops, there it goes, 0.23 and 79.77 and submit. And I don't know what's going on. It's just not doing anything. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now I want to skip down to just something that's asking you for a t critical value. When we've got a t value, that means our sample size is small, smaller than 30, okay? And we can use Excel just like we used it a moment ago for a z value. So if we had to do this 90% confidence level with a sample size of 18, again, I'm going to go back to Word for a second. And our confidence level was 90%, so 1 minus 0.90 is 0.10, and just as before, divided by 2, we're going to put 0.05 in. Now, when we're looking for a t-value, though, we need degrees of freedom, and degrees of freedom are always 1 less than our sample size for these types of problems. So let's see, our sample size was 18. Oops. So I'm just bouncing all over the place here. Let's see. All right, so 18 minus 1, our degrees of freedom are 17. So we're going to put in 0.05 and 17 in Excel, but our command is just a tad different. Instead of the norm.s.inv, we're going to use t.inv, and we're going to put in 0.05 and 17. Oops, as always, I forgot my equal sign. 0.05 and 17. So equal before we do that little command. And it tells us it's negative 1.73961. Now, as I said before in doing the previous example, we want to put in that critical value as a positive when doing confidence intervals instead of as a negative. So let me go back. It didn't tell us what to round to, so I'm going to just go with 3 decimal places. If I round 1.73961 to 3 decimal places, it's going to end up being 1.740. And let's see if it likes that. Yeah, it did. All right. So the big thing there is just remember, put the positive and not the negative t-value that you get when you're dealing with these confidence intervals. Come on, where's my stop button? There we go.